Hi guys, today's video is all about this beautiful, fast and fresh tomato sauce and zucchini noodle meal that I want to share with you guys. I just wanted to put the ingredients at the beginning in case you decide to make this in your kitchen. You don't have to keep referring to all the parts in the middle of the video. So what you're going to need is 8 ounces of organic tomato, 1 whole organic zucchini, 3 to 4 cloves of organic garlic, a half of 1 shallot, and a teaspoon of organic olive oil and 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar. So here I'm using Campari tomatoes, grape tomatoes, and cherry tomatoes, but you can use whatever kind of tomato you like. Tomatoes are great because they contain the major carotenoids, alpha carotene, beta carotene, lutein, and lycopene. They contain the antioxidants vitamin A, vitamin E, and vitamin C, and they're rich in potassium. To maximize the benefits of the lycopene in the tomatoes, make sure that you don't peel them. And also what's really wonderful about this recipe is that the peels start to create this beautiful sauce that you'll see in just a minute. So what I'm doing here is just kind of cutting these up into quarters or into small pieces because it really helps later on once they're in the frying pan to melt really beautifully. I love tomatoes. I think they're so versatile. You can use them in sweet dishes, you can use them in savory dishes, and tomatoes are most certainly my friend. Okay, next up you're going to want to cut up and dice your shallot and your garlic. The garlic and shallot are actually in the same onion family, and so they both contain magnesium, B6, vitamin C, selenium, fiber. They contain amounts of calcium, copper, potassium, phosphorus, iron, and vitamin B1. They help reduce sickness and they help detox heavy metals in your diet, and they taste amazing. I love garlic and shallots. They really add so much flavor to any kind of savory meal that you're making. And if you're not a fan of garlic or shallots or onions, I desperately ask you to try them out again because they really make so many things flavorful and they have really great components to help your health. Next up, you want to just spiralize your zucchini. Zucchini is great because it has vitamin A, manganese, folate, potassium, copper, phosphorus, protein even, vitamin B1, B6, and B2, and they also contain calcium. Zucchini is always a great thing to add instead of noodles if you want to substitute. So let's get started. First, you're going to pour that teaspoon of olive oil into the pan, and you're just going to heat up the pan and kind of spread it around as much as possible. Next, you're going to add the shallots and the garlic to the olive oil, and just really spread this around the pan so that any areas where there's not oil, it's not going to start to burn. This is such a small amount of oil. It provides enough flavor, but it still keeps this recipe extremely low fat, which is wonderful. If you're having this for yourself, a teaspoon of olive oil is like 50 calories. If you're sharing it with somebody else, even less, of course. So adding a little bit of salt and pepper here just to add some flavor. And now I'm adding the rice vinegar, and boy, does it start to simmer after you add that rice vinegar. It adds like such a savory / sweet taste. And then you're going to add in the tomatoes. And you're going to let these simmer for probably 3 to 5 minutes. So to recap, I put the olive oil and the garlic and shallot, and I let that simmer for about a minute. Then I added the rice vinegar to that, and I let that simmer for probably another minute. And then once I add the tomatoes, I'm letting it simmer for probably 3 to 5 minutes. You can add a little bit more salt and pepper to taste here if you'd like. And I just let this simmer for a couple minutes on its own without stirring because it starts to create this beautiful paste as the tomatoes start to melt and dissipate. And it's just a beautiful sauce. But then you want to come back in and stir occasionally because if you're not careful or watching the stove, the outsides can really dry and then you lose the actual sauce that you're creating with the water from the tomatoes and the rice vinegar. And you're done. That's it. Next up, all you want to do is pour this onto your zucchini. So put your zucchini into a bowl and get the tomatoes there. And you've made a beautiful fresh sauce that honestly, if you're vegan or not vegan, anybody will like this. It's been a real hit at my house. Everybody really likes this meal. And that's all there is to it. You can have this whole serving on your own. I could definitely eat all of this. Or you can share it with someone and enjoy the flavors together. This pairs really well with like a lovely summer salad. Or alone. You're getting tons of fruits and vegetables, vitamins and minerals in this meal alone, and it's super simple. Takes maybe 10 minutes in total, prep and cooking, which is amazing, especially when we are just in a hurry all the time. And here we go. Let's try it. Ooh, so good. Guys, if you try this, let me know down below. I hope that you do, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.